Hey everybody, I can see you're crooked. Welcome to the dungeon. Is that better? I'm down here today. I got one coat of sanding sealer on that knife. It's turning out pretty decent. Looks better under the lights. The little trouble I'm having with it is when you sand into this dark stuff, it actually stains the white stuff. So I had to put a coat of sanding sealer on it, hopefully to stop that, and what I might end up having to do is do a final scrape with a razor blade. I don't know, I'll see how it turns out. The shape's really good, feels good, the finger choil's working out, the little thumb ramp is working out. I did a little polish on the back of the blade just to get the factory scratches out. It's not a polish, it's a satin at best. It's like 3 something. Hold on, my cat just came down. Be right back. There we go. I got her out of here. Last time she came down here, she got in my crawl space and came back totally covered in spider webs. And I'm not crawling in there after her. So anyhow, it's coming out pretty decent. Everything feels good on it. I'm liking it. I got it sanded down to like 320 right now. I got all the scratches, the cross scratches out of the rivets. And I'd give them a rough satin right now. I'll go a lot finer than that. But I went ahead and drilled for the lanyard. I'm not sure if I'm going to put liners in there or not. I may just put a little taper on each side to dress up the hole a little. We'll see. But I also have a matching ferro rod. I did the octagon shape and then eased off the corners, a little bead on the front. This is made out of the same piece, so they match pretty decent. So I got a matching set now. All that's left is to make a sheath. It's going to be this style, like the bush lower, but a little different. I'm not going to have this type of belt loop. I'm going to have an extended belt loop up here with a nice big generous loop so it kind of dangles, but I'm not putting the ring in there. And then I lost it. Yeah, I got a lot of crap on my bench. Oh, there it is. I'm trying to get it where my ferro rod hangs off like that at a little bit lower than what the blade is. These are going to go on the front of my new sheath. So anyhow, what I did is, and I recommend this, made a nice pattern. Bush lower is so nice to put a nice straight edge here, so I basically just laid it down. Did a nice careful slow roll, and then I added like a 1/4 inch on both sides because I think my knife handle's a little fatter and it gives me some wiggle room. So I made my pattern. This is for my belt loop. On this pattern it isn't long enough. I have to extend it. So when I cut out the leather, obviously I had to go, or it's not obvious, I had to cut it from the rough side, that way when it's folded over the smooth side is exposed. I left this tail end for the loop real long, so I got trim room. So I got my little spacer cut. That will go in between the 2 layers of leather to make it nice and thick and to protect the threads. I got holes punched. It's not in the spine, it's in the kind of the belly of the sheath. And those, I lost it again. these tabs have to be tapered and stuff. They will actually go inside the sheath. Let me poke them in there real quick. They will actually be sewn into the sheath if it works. This may be a total fail, I don't know. Like that. So it will hang right on the belly of the sheath. Right? And then the knife will stick in there. Well, let me slide the knife in there. The blade protector's on there. And then the knife will sit in there also. So it'll end up a nice little set, I hope, if it turns out. I've done a little leather work in the past, but nothing where I really made it try to look good. It's more utilitarian, like little boxes for tools and bullshit. So we'll see how this turns out. Right off the bat, I know on these loops I have to put a taper right here because I got this wet and clamped it tight. So this is, damn, this is tough. This is hard to slide in there. So I want to put a little taper at the top. Same with this one, a little taper at the top. I'm going to have to taper these pieces so they lay out inside the sheath, and the blade should miss them, but that will help stiffen up the belly of the sheath too. So I got to put a taper on these to start with, get those mounted on the sheath before I do anything, because they're going to be sewn through, and then I guess I'll make the loop, and then I'll fold the whole shooting match over and sew everything else in. So let me get some tapering done, and then I'll turn you back on. See you in a minute. That's better. I can see now. I had smudge all over my glasses. Got me a Coke and a smoke, a real tape I can actually read. So I'm going to speed this thing up and put some music on it. That way it's not quite so boring. But before I do, I want to give a little shout out to the Real Cobra Burnout. Uh-oh. There it is. Give a little shout out to the Real Cobra Burnout. He was down in his today, and he gave me a really good shout out and review. He bought one of my ferro rods you may have seen on the thing, and then I sent him a little extra something just for a thank you. But he's always been a good friend. Go check him out. He's got some pretty cool vids, some pretty funny stuff, some good gun stuff, good knife stuff, and tell him Dr. Steve sent you. Alright, so I'm just gonna keep working away here. I'll speed all this stuff up and add some jams to it.
You